You're listening to Bigfoot Club podcast, Cryptid Sports Entertainers for Life.
Hey everybody, Bigfoot Club, Robert Jesse Dominguez. I'm here with my nephew Steven, Robert Dominguez. Say what's up, Steven.
What's up? What you forgot to say what season and episode it is?
Oh, it's like, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry. Season 6, episode 21.
21. We're back. We've been on a hiatus for a very long time.
Yeah, it's, we've been kind of busy doing stuff.
We're trying to get stuff aligned, and then personal stuff keeps happening. Campouts,
People getting sick. I'm actually feeling kind of sick right now.
I know. Tell our listeners about that. How are you sick? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I have like a slight, stuffiness. I don't know if you can kind of tell from my voice a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a fever or I don't have a sore throat, knock on wood. So
when did this start?
I think
you said it a couple days ago, but I just noticed it today.
Yeah, probably about Wednesday night, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I woke up with my throat was hurting a little bit. My throat. So anyway, my throat. But anyway, yeah, it was hurting, but it was gone like pretty quick. But I'm just real congested. I think it's allergies, but it's just me. Yeah,
I think it just might be maybe an upper respiratory infection, maybe.
Could be. It could be. Yeah,
because it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, personal stuff. B-Town Down's been asking me every time, when we talk and play video games together.
Yeah.
Whenever he feels like it, that is. He'll be like, "Hey, man, he's like scratching his neck,
Why is he scratching his neck?
He's has an addiction or something. He's like, "Yo, man, so Bigfoot Club hasn't really released an episode lately. What's going on?" I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. We're trying to line things up and we're trying to do this and do that, and
Josh asked me that too this past week too.
Really?
He goes, "Hey, when you gonna do another show?" I go, he goes, "I'm already caught up."
Yeah.
So here it is. Here's the show.
Here's an episode. We might do 2 hours. We might do 3 hours. We don't know yet. It depends on how Robert feels. But yeah, no. How besides being sick, how have you been?
I've been really busy with this new job I got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not complaining by any means at all. It's a good job. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I end up working like 10, 12-hour days sometimes, maybe 15.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're missing a couple hours there. Because there are many times where I think it's, whenever it's my time, whenever the boys are asleep, and I usually start playing a video game between 7 and 9 p.m., like around 8 or something, you'll come out and you're like, I just responded to an email and something like that. And I'm like, okay. And it ends up being a bigger issue that goes overnight. I'm like, Jesus, man.
There's times where I got stuff going and they're working on stuff and I tell them, I said, hey, text me whenever you're done or just call me when you're done. And a lot of times they'll text me like at 1 in the morning. Hey, I finished it.
It'd be great if it wasn't salary. If it was hourly,
I'd making a killing.
I know, man. And you'd be like, you take away my sleep. I don't care.
Yeah.
My bank account is fat right now.
But, it's good money. I'll say that. It's better that I'm making more than I was at Signify. So, it's good. But it's a lot.
Definitely making more money than you were in security, too.
Yeah. So, it's good. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just a lot.
Yeah, that's what probably B-Town Down will probably ask, like, hey, how's Robert's new job and all that stuff. So you're kind of giving him the answer already.
Yeah. Why does he sound like a surfer or something? All of a sudden, hey, what's going on?
He hates whenever I do impressions of him. I change it up every time.
Yeah,
every time, and it could be like something like if he's being petty or something, and say, "Hey man, I don't sound like that." Hey man, I don't sound like that. Like I'll do that.
Hold on.
Like he's a South Park character.
So anyway, last weekend. You want to talk about last weekend?
Yeah, sure. What did we do last weekend?
We went to the Lake Worth Monster Bash Festival.
Mm-hmm.
over in Fort Worth. So Craig Woolheater was running this event, and it was like in I guess the natural preserve out there in Fort Worth.
Yep.
And it's right next to Lake Worth, and I knew Lake Worth was out there, but I don't recall it being a big old like forest area. But it is. It's a pretty big forest area, and
Yeah.
it was a pretty big. I think it was kind of too big. So
Really?
because I thought a lot of the vendors were kind of far apart.
Yeah, I think that's what it gave the illusion on that. To me, if it was, I guess it could have been bigger.
Yeah.
But it's just the area, the way it was, and the way the vendors were spread out and stuff. But it was fun. We stayed there for about maybe a little bit over an hour.
I think it was maybe like 2.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay.
So we got there a little after 10.
Yeah.
We left close to 1. So
yeah, I was gonna say like next year we should definitely get a table.
Yeah.
Like a legit table, and really come prepared, because we kind of just
winged it.
We talked about it like, hey, we should probably go to this, and we're like, oh yeah, sure. I don't think I'm doing anything that day, so yeah, let's try to go for it. And then the 2 weeks go by, like, hey, I'll go, oh yeah, it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go and see how that is.
We took the boys.
We took the boys, and for some odd reason, this is how, like, we talked about it, but we didn't really talk about it that much. I thought it was inside.
Yeah.
I thought it was like inside the building, because Craig has done like events, like, the Bigfoot Club, or not Bigfoot Club.
No, he does. He's not doing anything.
We do the Bigfoot Club. I meant Bigfoot conference.
Yeah.
He always does it like in a big, like,
church,
a church or something like
school.
that. A school or some type of convention center. It's always indoors. So that's why I was like, oh, he did this. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. So we went there, and it took us about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to finally get in. 20, 30 minutes, because there's like a line, and they were.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about how they
were not prepared.
Yeah, so I would say if you knew the exact cash that you were supposed to be for each person, and if you brought cash, it would have been easier. But yeah, a lot of people were paying with card, and
debit cards and credit cards.
Debit cards, and they had 2 lanes open, and they would grab the card and then go to the little cabin thing right here,
little booth,
and then charge the card, and then come out, give you the receipt, then go back in, and then bring a map.
Yeah.
And like a flyer to you and tell you where to go. And I was like, wow, this is...
I mean, even like the Boy Scouts are more prepared than they are.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Because what do you call those little bitty things you put on your phone and you can swipe your card and stuff?
Oh, it's just a card reader, like a card reader adapter.
Yeah, they would have benefited that from having that.
Yeah, that would have probably been a lot
but quicker. But anyway,
we pull in. We finally get our ticket and thing, and we pull in, and
the parking was like, it was pretty organized. I'll say that.
Yes, it was. That's the only organization that they had right there, and they were like, "Yeah, go talk to that guy, and that guy's going to tell you where to go." And then that guy was like, "Yeah, see that guy right there in the fence?"
He was pointing like what exactly where he wanted you to park.
Yeah, and he was just like right here, and he was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Get closer, get closer, get closer." So we parked and. Got our stuff, took the boys out of the car, walked. Wow, how long?
Yeah, we walked around for a little bit just to see everything. I did, I think we're the only podcast that actually talks about equipment. Talk about recording equipment, because I took our H2N Zoom and I put it on like a tripod, and I had like some splitters for headphones in case we want to hear exactly what we're talking about. So our goal was to go, to this conference or this festival, Monster Bash Festival, and interview people that go to these type of things, because typically people who go to these type of things have experience like paranormal or cryptids, and that was our goal, was just to interview people who had experiences. And so we weren't an official podcast that was going to be there, so we kind of just walked in and just decided to do it, because that's usually how we roll. But I mean, because like it was either outside or inside. I just wanted to have the H2N Zoom. It runs off batteries. we just turn it on and go and just start talking.
Yeah.
And so that was the goal, is to go out there and do that and just kind of I've done it before. I've done it like 2 other times. Mm-hmm. And you weren't able to go with me on these 2 other times.
It was because I went with you. That's what it was.
You really think so?
Yeah.
No. So, we get there and we kind of convince the boys to try to, gather people, because like they're really good at selling popcorn for like the Boy Scouts, right?
Yep.
And so they were like out trying to tell people to, kind of guide them to us and say, hey, you have any Bigfoot or paranormal stories? We want to talk to you with Bigfoot Club. And so we got this one lady over and start talking to us about the Jefferson Hotel.
Right.
So that was pretty interesting. And I think she was talking for someone else, like someone who had experience. Her husband, but he didn't want to talk. He kind of clammed up when he was talking to us.
Yeah, she brought him over, and we were like, "Oh yeah, sweet." We'll tell them. And she was like, "Tell them about what you experienced." I didn't experience anything.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, okay." And we didn't really push it. We were just like, "Okay, all right." Yeah.
So we were probably going maybe like 25, 30 minutes, into it. Mm-hmm. And I looked down at the H2N Zoom, and it was not recording.
Apparently, it was set up to record only a minute.
And then it was like on a timer, and it stopped.
And then it stopped after a minute. And yeah, we were unprepared on that.
So I was pretty livid. I was pretty pissed.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the final straw. Not that there were like straws in there. We were just like, okay, I guess it's not meant to be.
It's not meant to be today.
Yeah. So we ended up just, after that, I mean, the story that she told was really fascinating, and we were trying to, I guess, get the husband to kind of tell us that story, but he, like you said, he clammed up and he didn't want to have no part, which I guess it's kind of good, because we would have been there talking maybe an hour and then realize it's not recording.
Yeah.
That's great, because we would have been like, we're going to put this on the Bigfoot Club here, listen to it. And
Nothing. So I was pretty pissed, man. I was pretty bummed. Mm-hmm. And so I was hoping to put one out, a show out last week with, us interviewing people. So
yeah,
and it just never happened. So it just happens, and you just got to roll with it,
So Brian, you heard it. We tried to do an episode, and that didn't. That's one of the reasons why you asked me recently. Hey, what's going on with the episode?
Why? Hold on. Why is it when he's explaining something, it just turns into a big old mumble?
You're pointing all of this out, and he's like, "Yeah, thank you, Robert. What the fuck? I don't sound like that."
He doesn't cuss like that either.
Man.
Does he?
He can curse.
Oh, come on, Brian.
He can definitely toot that horn and be like, what the fuck?
Brian, why do you sound like a roach all of a sudden?
What the fuck, man?
Oh,
he's like,
man.
I want some fucking episodes, man.
I know.
Send me the episodes.
Send me the shit.
Yeah.
So
that's the reason why, Ryan, we went out, and this is, I think he was texting me that day too, like, hey man, what are you doing? I go, hey, we're actually going to the Lake Worth Monster Bash. And he was like, what the heck, man? Like, no invite? Like, what the hell? And I was like, I don't think you're going to want to come to one of these. But it was cool after, because what do we do after that? We left?
Before we left, we ended up running into my old friend Jason McLean.
Yes,
the artist Jason McLean, and he's local around here. He's got a book out, and if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's actually at CVS, and I think at Walgreens too. But you can order it on Amazon. Metroplex Monsters. So he writes a story on lore in the DFW area. Mm-hmm. And so one of them was about the Lake Worth Monster. Yeah. So that's probably why, he got asked to go do this one. And
fantastic artist.
Yeah.
I forget how great he is.
He is great. Mm-hmm. And I love him. He's been on the show before. Mm-hmm. Were you with me?
Yeah. We talked about his book, cause I think his book came out recently.
Well, it wasn't that recent.
Oh, it wasn't that recently, but it was. I know that we were still in the apartment, and you came over and we talked to him over the phone, and he was saying like, yeah, the book is out and stuff, like it just came out at that time.
Yeah.
So no, but he was super nice. Got a book,
He gave us artwork.
Yep,
Original.
artwork.
He gave us both pieces, and he gave the boys.
He didn't give me. I liked, but I'm gonna reach out to him, Jason. If you're listening, I want to reach out to you and see if you can do a personal piece. I'll get with you on that if he does listen. But yeah, you got an art piece, and I was like, man, I don't want to take like this is his making his money, so I didn't want to take one. But the boys, if he was willing to give one, that's great. So the boys got Spider-Man. Ricardo got Spider-Man, like Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Miguel, Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian got Spider-Gwen, and he was like, yes. So I was like,
Isn't that kind of ironic? Because that's how he was for Halloween.
Yeah, they were both Spider-Man, and Sebastian was Spider-Gwen. Yeah, it was.
And then he gave me a Bigfoot one.
A Bigfoot one, yep.
So we're going to frame those.
That's the plan, yep.
We're going to frame him and hang him. So Jason does amazing work. I love him. He's such a good dude. And
very good dude. He's got an awesome voice, too.
Yeah, he was doing a podcast for a while. And I think he's just too busy now to do it, which is good. It's great news that, he's staying busy. He was originally, I think he followed Uncle Richard or my brother Richard, El Gato Negro. He was, I guess, he was a fan of Uncle Richard and became an artist because of that. So it was kind of cool.
Yep, that is awesome.
So I've actually been on his podcast before. Him and I think Tex. We're doing a show like Texas Front Porch or something. I've been on his show. So we gotta get him back on here.
Yes, we do. Just to talk about more of his book and his art and what he, if there's another book coming out.
Because I think he's had some sightings of pterosaur.
Really?
Yeah, and it was over by the Trinity River.
Jesus.
So
creepy.
His theory is that these cryptids travel through the Trinity River corridor. Without, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because no one will be able to see anybody going through these corridors.
Yeah.
So
there's just so much bad stuff that you hear when you get from Trinity River.
Yeah, especially like in West Dallas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's you think that alone can just feed off of that
probably.
Oof.
So I mean. Because, I don't know. It's not a good river. It doesn't smell good. No. So, a lot of people avoid it.
Some people like to go fishing.
Yeah, I think hopefully they fish for sport and not to eat.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't eat anything coming out of that river.
I was like, yeah, we got some dinner tonight, guys. I'm like, yeah, no. You fishing to die here. That's what it is.
You would say that to him? No.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
And you'd point at him? He's pointing.
I'm pointing at him and at the dumb fish that he caught.
Hold on. What? How come it has to be fish? It could be other stuff.
Why? If he's saying that, we got some dinner tonight and his shoes.
I've heard of gators being in there.
Still, no. Absolutely not. Whatever comes out of that,
you can make a belt out of it.
You can make a belt too. You can do
the
that.
Boots. So
I like how he's just a random stranger. He's like, "Hey, we got some dinner tonight, boys."
Or we have some wardrobe.
So stupid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are dumb.
Yeah, we are.
So after that. We went to Cowtown Comic Convention in the Dickies Arena.
Yes.
This is my first time being there.
It's my first time.
No, I'm serious. It was my first time being in Dickies Arena. I've heard of it. They have concerts there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we went there and man, I feel like we parked a mile away.
Yeah, we did.
And we're just like, oh, shit.
We made Dickies Arena rich.
Yeah, we sure did. But we went there and we got our steps in. And it was a huge venue of a bunch of vendors. Usually whenever I was just so used to Where did we see Uncle Richard last? At the mall? It was a Vista Ridge Mall?
It was Vista Ridge Mall, yeah.
And it was like really small and compact, and I was like, man, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
There's so many people here, and I just need to move.
They had it kind of squished in the corner.
Yeah, and I didn't. No.
They should have just let it through the whole. There's nothing going on in that mall.
I know. That's why I was like, you could have at least done it like one of the set hallways. There's long hallways. The stores are not open.
Yeah.
Use it right there.
I don't even think the air conditioning was on.
No, it was. It was hot. It was super hot. At least with Dickies Arena, like I was sweating a little bit, but it was still cool.
Yeah. It was cool. They had a bunch of vendors there. They had wrestling. And they had food trucks outside.
I'm glad you brought that up because the boys saw their first wrestling match and they were amazed at it. And this was
I'm sorry I missed it.
This was just like, I wouldn't say they're rookies. It's just it's a small
like independent
wrestling company, and they did a good job. And they're like Sebastian kept jumping every time they would hit the mat because the mat's really loud.
Yeah,
and not Matthew Reginald Nappers, but the mat on the wrestling ring.
Yeah,
and they were like both sitting down on the floor, and they were like just amazed. And I was like, this is cool. And they kept saying, we gotta go get Robert. I go, the match, I don't know if it's going to end right here. You should pay attention.
Yeah,
Robert has seen matches.
Yeah,
I've seen matches. You need to experience this. And they're like, okay. And they were just so concerned that you were missing this.
That's so sweet.
And I was just like,
I didn't know that. That was so sweet.
Sebastian was just like, I can go get him. I go, by the time y'all come back, it's going to be over. And it really was. It was like we caught like the tail end of it. I'm pretty sure it was a long match, but we caught the tail end of it. I just remember walking and going to the vendors, and I kept hearing like bam, and I was like, what is that noise? I was like, oh, boys, let's go. Look, I think they're doing a match.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were.
I'm sorry I missed it.
I mean, you were resting, you were tired, man. We were walking, and you're like,
I was talking to Uncle Richard about that new character that I brought up. So I was talking to him about that. So
it's all good. I made the boys walk around a lot. I made them get tired.
Yeah.
And Sebastian was like really like, oh, can we stay till 4? Because that was going to be like the last match. And apparently one of the guys that were supposed to show up on the last match canceled. And they said that they got like a huge surprise guest coming out, and I was like, I wonder who it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Man, I wish I saw it, but anyway, I was talking to Uncle Richard about his characters because I'm sure I've said this on the podcast. I'm writing a bunch of stuff for him, and I came up with a character recently. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I don't want to give that out yet. But it's a character that I don't know. I was thinking about it for the last couple of days, and
I think it's been more than a couple of days.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying the thought process, how I came up with it. So I was thinking about it for a couple of days, and then I woke up one morning and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. And so, like in DC, they have a character called the Spectre. And he's not a major character. He used to be a major character. He used to have his own comic book a long time ago, but now he just comes out when there's a major turning point in the comic or the comic series. And then Marvel has, I think, The Watcher. The Watcher comes out on main events or something that's really, really heavy. Or meaning that it's a major deal.
But he never gets involved.
He never gets involved. But the character that I was coming up with is because because Richard does El Gato Negro, and I wrote a story called Thanato, the Sun God. So we're slowly building a universe for his comic stuff. And so I came up with a character that's kind of like the Spectre, kind of like the Watcher, where he comes out on major events, and whenever the heroes are losing or there's a turning point, he comes out and makes sure that this goes the right way, and then he steps away. So I came up with it, and I really liked the idea, and I shared the idea with you, and you gave me your viewpoints on it and stuff. So I'm sorry I can't really talk that much about it or what type of character it is. But I'm really, really excited about it. So
I'm excited for you. Usually, that's what we do. We bounce off ideas off each other and stuff, and then we end up like it depends on where we're at. If we're in this room and we bounce off ideas, we usually leave the room content. Like, okay, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Of how I want to proceed it. But yeah, no, that's cool. I can't wait for the listeners to. Brian's probably going to be like, I got the inside scoop. I can just ask you.
Yeah, Matt does have the inside scoop on this
because there's only a couple people that we know.
Yeah,
have the inside scoop.
Because I sent this information to you and Matt, and that's basically and Richard, you know, my brother. So
yeah,
but I sent it to you guys first to get ideas or to get some criticism off of it, and so. And any kind of tweaks I need to make, and then I sent it to Uncle Richard. And because at first, whenever I brought this idea to him, he told me, because I came up with this like a name for this character, and he says that one it's already out, and he shot me. He texted me a picture of this character that I was originally gonna call it, and he texted me. He goes, "That's already out." And then I told him, I said, no, this is what I want. I go, it's not a character. It's an entity. And this is the reason why I want to do it. And he texts me back. He goes, he goes, run with it, write something and send it to me. And I go, okay. So I wrote it, sent it to him, and he liked it a lot. So I think he's going to run with it. And I'm pretty happy. So
that is cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited whenever you do, finally let the rest of the people know what you're doing. Yeah. So we were there for about 2 hours. The boys got to take some pictures of.
They're with Cyclops, right?
Cyclops, Spider-Man. Like they finally Ricardo had the courage. Can I take a picture with you? And like the Spider-Man guy, he had the Tobey Maguire suit on, and he had it up here, and he was eating I think he was eating a pizza or something. And he was like, he had his back, he was like, yeah, man. And he put the mask down, and there was another one that had the black suit too, and they honestly we only saw him, and I think they were just like behind some curtains or something, and they all came out. Like, yeah, man, we'll take a picture. And then, like, 3 other different Spider-Men came out. And
I don't think I've seen the picture.
Yeah, I got to send it to you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they all came out of nowhere. And then, like, Ricardo was like, oh, he was so happy and stuff. So, yeah, they took a picture with the Spider Group.
The Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse, yeah. And then after the match and everything, like, we ended up just leaving because, man, we were getting hungry, and we were pretty tired.
We
were tired, and we still had to walk that long thing back upstairs to the second floor garage or whatever. And yeah, that was fun.
How many steps did you get in that day?
Ooh,
was it like 11,000 or something?
No, it was like 6,000-7,000.
Dang,
yeah,
that's still a lot.
Yep, it was not that bad.
So. Yeah, so we ended up leaving there, and we ended up going. We came back home, and we had to clean though afterwards.
Oh yes,
we had to clean because we're playing
Dungeons and Dragons, but we were playing like a different.
What's it called?
Candela Obscura, and it's like supernatural horror mystery.
Candela Obscura. That sounds like
obscure.
No, it sounds like a hotel or something.
Oh, yeah.
Let's stay at the Candela Obscura.
Here at the Candela Obscura. You'll check in, but you won't check out.
Stupid.
Dumb. Yeah, so we did that
Sunday. How was that?
It was fun. It was my first Dungeons and Dragons kind of experience, but I'm supposed to get the real Dungeons and Dragons experience this Sunday.
Are you pretty excited about that?
Yes, because I get to hang out with Blair's cousins.
Oh, okay.
Tyler, Trevor.
The one she used to keep monitors on?
Yep.
She used to report on it?
She used to write a 3-page essay to her aunt, Michelle, and be like, and said what each person did at what time and what was the result. This was all while she was like 11 or 12, guys. So Lord. She's probably going to be like, really?
Really, guys?
You're going to tell all the people about me?
Did we do a season where we was talking about how drunk and mad she was?
Yes, we did.
God damn it, Steven!
I don't drink anymore. Yeah.
And I think even her sister said something about it too.
Yeah,
So.
she's like, man, she's got a real bad drinking problem.
Cassandra.
Brian was all like,
Cassandra.
dang, dude, that's not true, right? No, it's not. Okay, all right.
We're just joking.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a running joke with us.
We exaggerate.
Exaggeration. We're 32 seconds in.
Yay.
So, I will say this, that we got an email, and normally we don't read emails on the show, but we have a fan, Kathy DeBueller. She's amazing. We love her so much. And she writes into the show all the time. And there's been a couple times where I haven't read it, and Kathy, I'm sorry. But this story that she's emailed us, the story of, and we're going to read it on to the show.
Yep. So Robert shared the email with me, so I'm going to go ahead and read it out loud. And if I butcher it, I'm so sorry. Kathy, please forgive me. I'm doing my best here. She emailed us October 18th and she said, hey, Robert and Steven, it's been a while since I talked to y'all. I've been on the busy side. I got a story for y'all which may be on the haunted item side. My husband and I were in our mid-20s and had bought our first home. We loved going flea marketing and yard sailing, looking at old junk and antiques, which I love too.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's amazing how that can be a hobby and can be addicting.
It what happens whenever you get older.
Oh, don't say that. My back hurt just by you saying that. While at a flea market, I found an old picture about 8 by 10, something like that, of a young girl in an old-fashioned dress sitting in the grass next to an old tree stump. There were trees in the background, and I remember clowns, and some of them were on the gloomy side. I showed it to my husband, Roger, who liked it as well, so I went ahead and bought it. I thought it looked good in our home, which was 90 years old at the time. In our home, to get to the second floor, you walked up a set of stairs, come into a landing, and then turn right to go up another set of steps. That's so weird. Like those houses like that, I feel like, I decided to put the picture in the oh my god, I can never say this word. Foyer. In the foyer on the stair landing. I can't remember how long I had the picture hanging there, but every time I would go up the steps, I would look at it. I would stop and look at it. After some time went by, I started noticing a weird looking little devil's face in the background. Once I noticed the devil's face, it started creeping me out. Told Roger what I saw, and he said after he would come home from work on the third shift, he would come up the steps in the dark and started seeing 2 tiny red lights in that picture where there were none at all. He told me they looked like eyes staring at him. It got to the point where we couldn't stand looking at the picture anymore, so I took it down, boxed it up, and put it in the attic. What do you think so far on that?
I think that's creepy, and what I was going to say is that when we were interviewing that lady at the Lake Worth Monster Bash that we didn't get to record.
Yes.
She was talking to us about the Jefferson Hotel, and that her husband had seen in a mirror a devil face.
Yep.
And it was kind of weird because I read this email on that day. That day
to me.
I read it to you. And then she came up and talked to us about a devil face.
Yep.
I go, what the heck?
And she said something about that. It was a hotel, right?
Yeah.
The hotel burned down, and she said that the soot was still in some places. There's some of the items that they kept in. Why? I don't understand why they kept the furniture on there, because that burn smell, it never goes away.
Yeah, the soot.
Yeah. So I think this is, what do you call it? What's that word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
We've said it's
synchronicity.
Synchronicity. Brian loves that word too. He loves it when we use that word. I don't remember how much time went by. Oops, almost dropped the phone. I don't remember how much time went by. One night when he was at work, I went to bed. My bed was on the same wall as the door. At first, I couldn't sleep. Then I got a strange feeling someone was watching me. Out of my peripheral vision, I seen a dark mass that was as big as the door. And when it came in the room, it was as tall as the ceiling. It freaked me out so bad, I sat up, started screaming like a little girl, then threw the blanket over my head. I thought for sure it was going to rip the blanket off me. Here I am sitting up in bed with my knees to my chest, my arms wrapped around, rocking myself, and a blanket over my head, crying like I was in some horror movie. Only one thing I could take this monster away. Only one thing that could take this monster away, and that would be God. So I started praying. The more I prayed, I could feel arms wrapping around my back, and then immediately I felt calm wash over me. I don't know if that thing came from the picture I bought or not, but it never happened again in that house. About 20 years later, we moved out in the country. We decided to have a yard sale, and guess what I set out to sell? That damn picture. I love how she said that.
Yeah.
One of the neighbors who we didn't know lived down the hill from us had bought the picture. As time went by, we got to know the neighbors, but not very well. One day, Roger found out that things weren't going very well for them. The husband broke his wrist, lost his job. He was divorcing his wife. The car broke down. The wife and 2 kids were sick at the time. After Roger told me all of this, I got to thinking, I wonder if everything had to do with that picture. Roger talked to the neighbors, telling them about the picture that they bought and what happened with us. They told Roger, why didn't you tell us before we bought the picture? They got spooked. One day, we saw them out in the driveway trying to burn something. Come to find out, it was that damn picture they were trying to burn, but it wouldn't burn. I think that they were overkill squirting stuff on that picture trying to light it. Eventually, it caught on fire. They were pretty freaked out, that's for sure. So, what do you think about the story? Do you think that picture had something wrong with it or attached to it?
That sounds like an episode from Supernatural or Night Gallery or Twilight Zone. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, for her to feel that way about the picture and then put it, have the insight to put it away. Mm-hmm. And then for her to have that experience of that large entity, I'm starting to think that maybe Kathy is probably like a medium and she just doesn't know it.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Okay, so there's a lot of things in here. This was like, I was going to, I think I talked to you about this off air too. We should really get her on.
We should.
On the show and talk about this because there's so many questions I want to ask. Like, y'all, they just, from the email, they just moved into the house.
Right.
So it could have been not the picture. It could have been something else. It could have been from the house.
They're speaking through the picture?
That was speaking through the picture, maybe. Maybe that picture had some type of... It's from an antique place. That's one thing I hate about, you never know what you're going to get. This sounds like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Right there. It's creepy.
But here's
show up.
Here's the thing, though. Roger saw it, too.
Yeah, and he wasn't... I think it was it was that type of entity to really tear apart families. And for some odd reason,
they got rid of it, or they pulled it away where they couldn't see it on time.
Yeah.
And they put it in the attic. And then years later, they sold it and it went to a house that maybe they saw it and maybe they didn't see the warning signs. And then, they went through all that bad stuff.
Not only that, but Roger he broke that typical stereotypical thing where if the wife sees the ghost or sees something, the husband never believes it.
Right.
He saw something. He saw red eyes.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, there's something off. Like they're a team.
They're a team. Yeah.
They worked together and and that entity had to do its last hurrah of showing itself. And she prayed and it was like, dang, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So
good for her.
Good for Kathy. Good for Roger for not,
But hey, at least they got it out of their house.
Yeah, and then I was like, dang, I kind of want to see the picture, but I kind of don't. But they burned it. It was burned.
Or did they? Or did it burn? Kathy, can we find out about the picture? What happened to the picture?
Yeah. And yeah, I was going to ask too, if you can email us or if you want to come to the show and talk about it more. But yeah, I was going to ask, did anything else happen after that?
Yeah.
Did you, it's like one of those things where I hear in every ghost story too, when they get rid of something, they can immediately feel the house different or apartment different or the environment different. Did it feel it's normal now?
This kind of reminds me of the story you read a couple shows ago about the doll that they...
Oh, yeah.
It was in Houston, and they sent it to Minnesota, and then the people put it on... He's
a trucker.
A trucker, he put it on
he put it on top of he put it on the...
No, he duct taped it.
Duct taped it, or he has it on the very front of the truck.
The grill
of it, and it hasn't, to this day, it hasn't moved. But that was back in 2014. I'm like, I kind of want to know if he still has it.
Yeah.
Or if, that's, but back to the picture, that is creepy. It
is.
It you know what it reminds me of? Yeah, you're going to be like, wow, it's Vigo. Flies to him. Yeah. Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
The picture came alive,
Yeah.
whatever was in the picture was slowly working its way out. Started with the face and then in the eyes. It noticed that it got noticed, and it tried to
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's other bits and pieces that they don't remember
Yeah.
right now, but if they put two and two together, some other stuff was happening, something fell. There was odd noises in the house or something like that. I don't know. I kind of want to know.
So
more.
I kind of want to know also is the flea market they got it from.
Yeah.
What flea market, and if the people in the flea market knew about that picture too.
Yeah, because it was in the flea market for a while. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know. That's so weird. That is definitely creepy. And that's a really, really good story.
Kathy, thank you for that story.
Yes, thank you for sharing that because, I want to know what was the picture.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
So maybe Kathy's a medium too. She just doesn't know it.
Whoa. What would you say if you suddenly figured out that you were you had that ability?
I'd be afraid. I mean, even now I'm, cause I know I told you a bunch of times, whenever that stuff happened to me and I died and came back, I was fearful that I was going to see stuff that I didn't really want to see. But, to this day, I don't even know. If I'm driving down the road and you see someone walking on the road, I don't know if they're alive or there's just an entity, You
don't realize how many times that and I'm not just talking about me or you, I'm talking about everybody. If you come across that and you don't even know.
Yeah.
The whole incident where I saw that guy in the room next to you.
Yeah.
Clear as day, it looked like an actual person. I didn't see. I can't remember if I saw his feet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It was so quick. I remember just seeing his face and his head.
Yeah. You were
hands.
You were just focused on that.
Yeah.
I know when I was younger, when I was in, I think I was 25 or 26. I was working at Baylor Hospital, and I was working as a housekeeper, and then I got promoted to inventory, and once I got into inventory, then I started fixing stuff. So the office I had, it was in the basement at Baylor and Johnson Building, and in that basement, right next door, was the morgue.
Oh boy!
Did I ever tell you that story?
Yeah, I think I know which story you're going with this one.
And so every time I was in there, I would step out to go to lunch, or sometimes people would call me and say, "Hey, they have a broken piece of equipment," so I would go and fix it. Mm-hmm. So I'd grab my tools and I would just go and fix it and see if I can. And every time I walked out of the office, they were either wheeling the body in or wheeling the body out. And it was
I'm pretty sure you were before you walked in or walked out, you're like, please don't.
Yeah, I used to think that. I used to look and lean and look out. And I had this really big heavy door I had to slam real hard to close it. And every time I do it, I could hear another door open, which was the morgue door. And they would wheel out, because then anytime they brought someone in, they had them wrapped in this velvet blanket. And so every time I would see them, And there was a couple of times where I know I was in that hallway, and I would see somebody walking up and down, and I would say hi to them, and they wouldn't respond. And I think back on it now, I said maybe they were dead, and I just didn't know it. And I would see people, and then like I would see them walk by, because sometimes I would open my door and then work, and I could see the hallway, and I could see people walk by. And I see people walk by, and I would get up and go, because there'd be hours I wouldn't see anybody at all. And then I see one person walk by, and I'd get up and go look, and then they weren't down the hallway. They were gone. And it was a long hallway, too.
Yeah.
So I go, man, what the hell? So I don't know.
You played it off like, oh, man, what the hell? Oh, well. What the hell, Robert?
I don't know. I was a big drinker then. And so
oh, Lord.
Sometimes I don't know. I was drinking, so.
Oh, man.
I was drinking at work. Okay, I'm just going to say it.
Oh, my gosh. And that's where I was like, no, don't say it.
Yeah. So
but it's okay. How old were you then?
I was like 25, 26. How old were you when I was 25?
Oh, man. You were 18 whenever I was born?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
I didn't tell you these stories then.
No, you didn't. You were trying to shelter me.
Yeah.
That would have been like...
Traumatizing?
Yeah, I'd probably be more concerned for you. Like, yeah, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Like, get away from them. Get away from that area.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. It was a good time.
I made a lot of money there.
Okay, at the time, that was a lot of money, but how much were you making?
I'll just say this, that there was, we had a big contract with, this one service provider that provided us equipment, and the guy that was working there before me had a whole, like, there was like a garage, like we had underground garages there, and they had like a whole like sub level of it was a whole sub level of storage that had all these broken pieces of equipment in there. It was like a graveyard of cleaning equipment. And so I asked the supervisor, what are we doing with this? He goes, nothing. We're just keeping it. I go, okay. So I took advantage of it. I Frankenstein a bunch of stuff together, and I would sell it to other housekeepers that were working at night, and they wanted to start their own business. So I sold it to them, and I sold it to them for a fraction of the price that it was.
Fraction of the price.
So I was making money.
While making money,
yeah. So I'll probably get called by the IRS now or something. Hey, Mr. Dominguez.
Like, hey, you're a fan of the show.
Because we want to talk to you about these acquisitions that you entitled yourself.
The Southerners that they sent. It's the guy from the Oh Brother We're Out There.
We want to talk to you about these implements of cleaning equipment that you somehow surfaced and sold. Anyway, sorry.
Oh Lord. So back to the picture.
Yeah. Back to the picture.
Yeah, back to the picture. I wanted to ask you this before I forgot.
Yeah.
If you were to own a picture like that, and you know, and we like you and I did some investigating, and we found like, dang, this all happened because we got this damn picture. Would you burn it? Because what they did there, that was kind of dangerous.
It was.
You know, trying to burn something. Would you burn it, or would you have something, or not give it away, but I don't know. Since we have resources, maybe have Scott do something with it.
Yeah, I'd probably have Scott do something with it. I wouldn't burn it. I mean, it's not supernatural.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Just put some rock salt in it, and then eat a pie after. Yeah, that's my Dean impression there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because that concern. I was like, dang, they had a hard time burning it. It wouldn't catch on fire.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
That's a little warning sign there.
It is. It is a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's definitely scary.
What should we call this episode?
The face in the picture,
or the Lake Worth Monster Bash failure, or we went to the Lake Worth Monster Bash.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a combination of things.
Because it's the first part of this episode was us talking about Lake Worth Monster Bash. Now that wasn't really successful, and then we ended it with Kathy DeBuehler's email. So
yeah,
man, I am so congested right now.
What are we on?
We're on 52 seconds.
52 seconds. I do want to talk about this, and
okay, go.
Just to kind of extend the time. I told you off show that I saw this movie called Nefarious, and what did you call it? You came up with a name for it.
It was from the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones, right?
I think so.
It was like whenever Daenerys calls.
Dracarys. Yeah. You said you didn't say the name. You said, isn't that what the
Daenerys says
to the dragons to kill the whatever, like
kill people?
Yeah, I was like, no, it's Dracarys. Golly, I think I called you.
It was close.
Sure. But Nefarious is a demonic possession movie, and it's not your typical like Exorcist one. I can't stand that. This is like a legit like. It's a good movie that I would want you to see. It came out recently? It came out last year, and for some odd reason, it got tangled up into politics. No. Yeah, but it's a really good story about a psychiatrist who goes to this prison to interview a serial killer, and he's got to decipher if he's fit to be executed or if he's insane and send him to mental asylum.
Yeah.
And this, I forgot his I think his name is Edward, but the demon that takes over him, his name is Nefarious. And he said, what creeped me out is that, and what the actor that plays him is Sean Patrick Flannery. He does a great job. He keeps blinking his eyes, and he keeps he's like doing a combination of like Heath Ledger's Joker with the tongue, and then like he keeps blinking his eyes because, when he was talking about doing this role, he was like I've read so many about demonic possessions, how the demon really doesn't have full control of the host.
Right.
And he's struggling. So he goes, I kind of wanted to incorporate it on that. So he does this a lot. Like he blinks really hard and really fast. And then he starts moving his lips a lot and, moving his fingers. He's really trying
to feel his way through it.
Trying to feel his way through it. And he tells the psychiatrist, it starts off with by the time you leave here, you're going to commit 3 murders. And you're all like, what the heck? And it ends up being this whole thing about people who don't believe, and then you actually ended up believing and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a really good I guess supernatural. What would you call it? Supernatural?
Yeah.
I say that because there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
So I think you should watch it.
I think we would call it supernatural because it's not of this world.
Yeah.
So and they only come if they're invited. So
that's another thing too. How they talk about how invitation is very, very.
It's key.
It's key, and it's also very terrifying how easy it is.
Yeah.
How you welcome that. So yeah, and the same thing with burning a picture, or burning something like that that's very cursed or haunted. Mm-hmm. You do something like that, it's dangerous. You're opening up a doorway you don't even know. Yeah. So it's just it's dangerous for stuff like that because it's you don't realize how.
I think if I had something like that and I didn't have the ability to reach out to Scott or anybody else, I think I would just bury it. I'd just bury it with the earth and.
But since it's how that feeds off earth, wouldn't that make it powerful? Wouldn't that raise its power?
It might. I don't know, but I think as long as you kept distance from it, I think you'd be okay. That's just me thinking outside the box or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's scary. But yeah, I wouldn't know what to call this episode.
I think it's something. I think it's something for this one.
I like the face in the picture, the face in the painting.
Face in the painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And she would know whether this episode is named after her story.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Face in the painting.
Face in the painting.
Mm-hmm.
You got any shout outs?
Shout out to the boys and Blair, and shout out to the listeners.
Yep. I just wanted to do, special shout out to Kathy DeBeeler for the email. I also wanted to mention that 2 days ago was Clifton's birthday.
Yep.
October 30th. Mm-hmm. Miss him so much. He's one of the Bigfoot Clubs. Like, he loved the show. He would listen to it every week and call me and tell me he listened to it, and we would ask me questions about it. So really miss him. Love him. Miss him. Trying to think who else I wanted to shout out to. I'm sure there's a lot of people I want to shout. Googals.
Yes.
Googals Paranormal.
They're still kicking butt.
They're still kicking butt, and Jen and Jennifer.
J-Ro is what I call
J-Ro.
J-Ro and Jin.
I think the world of them. They're great. I'm sure I'm forgetting Matthew, Bartholomew, Reginald Nappers. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to John Arthur Montgomery Lee. His mom is going through some medical stuff, some health stuff, and just people, if you want to pray, I know we don't talk about prayer on this show that much, but if you want to do a special prayer to John Lee's mom, make sure she goes through she gets her recovery going, and
I don't think we talked about what happened.
No, we didn't. So, but John was on our show recently, and some stuff happened with his mom, and we just want the best.
Okay.
Yeah, she's doing good, but she's got, like me, she's got a long road to recovery.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and I just wanted to say that for his mom and give her some really positive vibes, because she's a special lady, and in his life, and John's a really, really good friend of the show, listens to the show, and we just want to give thoughts and good prayers to his family and stuff like that. So what else you got? Wait, before we go, you're playing Silent Hill 2.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on my third play run.
Third? Mm-hmm. Wow. How many runs is it? How many endings?
There's 8 different endings.
So are you going to play all 8?
I want to. I really, there's this, oh man. Brian got me back into Silent Hill 2. I played this a long time ago.
I did too.
You played the first one. I played the first one and the second one when I had the PS2. And I didn't know so much. I just once you beat the game, I didn't know that there was different endings. Yeah. So I got an ending. I go, oh, what the heck? Oh, well, he deserved it. Blah blah blah.
Move on to the next one.
Move on to the next game. But yeah, I love the remake. It is fantastic. I love everything about it. The story. I'm in this little Silent Hill craze right now. I'm like, dang, I want to play something like that. And
you're not streaming it right now, are you?
I am unfortunately not streaming it, but I am working on trying to save up for gaming PC and stuff, because I think it's just going to be so much easier streaming from a PC.
It'd be less lag.
Less lag and
Lucas Arthur Gross.
Yes. That'll be less lag on that.
But we want more Luke Arthur Gross, but not lag.
Not lag on gaming, because it'll drive a gamer crazy.
That's what causes violence.
Yes,
lag.
Yep.
Not Luther Arthur Gross.
Nope. Just actual lagging or stuttering or glitching. Actually, some glitches are funny. Yeah. But yeah, no, I am playing that, and it's fun. I'm having
it's a mozzing.
It's a mozzing. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm sure I'm forgetting people who we want to do shout out to. Robert Cuddy, my cousin Joe Montez, and I'm sure other people too. Caitlin Gonzalez, Candace Brown.
We need to get Caitlin back on here.
Yeah,
'cause I feel like she has more to tell without.
Yeah, the Googles think she's a median. So
She might be, and we need to get into that if she can get us into that house.
That house, or either we need to go back to that cemetery that I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
Maybe do a show there.
Yeah, it was funny as Brian found that. He looked it up and I was like, oh shit, this is it. And I saw like the street view of it. I was like, there's no way in hell I would have known that was there.
Yeah.
Because he was really intrigued by that story, and he was like, I wonder what cemetery they're talking about.
It's just so much. I mean, to be honest with you, the 2 times I went, I didn't feel anything negative there.
That's good.
But I did feel something there though. Because I know I saw something visually on the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
I thought it was my friend Courtney, and it was nobody. But somebody was there. But I don't know who it was. But anyway.
Wow.
All right, so let's end this.
Yep.
Good night and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bang.
Bang.